Hello and welcome to the Short Shorts 2020 Awards. Brought to you by the Kaipatiki Public Arts Trust. This year's theme for the competition was Secrets. My name is Gillian and I'll be your host. With the COVID-19 lockdown restrictions in place, this video is a replacement for our usual in-person event. We hope you'll still enjoy it. As well as hearing from our judge and announcing the finalists and winners, we'll also play you the winning films. I should note that all films that are finalists are now available on this YouTube channel, so you can still watch them all. As soon as COVID lockdown conditions allow us to, we will deliver the finalists their certificates and the winners their prizes. So sit back, relax, enjoy the show. Let's kick off with a word from our chairperson, Helen Shamroth.
Kia ora tātou. It is my great pleasure to welcome you online to Short Shorts 2020. This is our annual project for making in our young people as part of a wider program that brings public art to Kaipatiki. Today we congratulate all participants involved in making the short films, and we thank parents and teachers who supported them. By holding the contest for students, our hope is that they will be inspired to become even more involved in the arts and creative team projects, which will serve them well in the future. Because of COVID-19, this year we have an abbreviated version of our usual screening, and we will just show winning films. We know that one of the highlights for students is seeing their films on a big screen in a theatre, but we hope that all finalists will be equally proud to see their films on YouTube. Kaipatiki Public Arts Trust is a small team of 5, and I thank my colleagues who give so generously of their time and knowledge. It is a real pleasure to work together. Short Shorts would not be possible without the generous assistance of Kaipatiki Local Board. At a time when getting sponsorship is so difficult, we are especially grateful for the support and we thank you.
And now a word from our sponsor, Danielle Grant.
Hi, I'm Danielle Grant from the Kaipatiki Local Board and welcome to Short Shorts, the 2020 edition. 2020 has been a busy year with COVID-19, so the 6 schools who have participated in this year's version of Short Shorts have really had quite a lot to contend with. Some projects have been done during lockdown and others with the support of their teachers and at school. The Short Shorts is actually produced by our Kaipatiki Public Arts Trust with funding from the Kaipatiki Local Board. Thank you very much to the volunteers that are a part of the Kaipatiki Public Arts Trust team and for your support of our young people who have created the entries for this year's edition of Short Shorts. I'm really looking forward to watching all of tonight's entries, and congratulations to all of the participants and winners. Your resilience and your courage that you have shared during this time is really something to be commended. Thank you for your entries and enjoy watching the 2020 edition of Short Shorts.
This year's competition judge was Campbell Hegan. Campbell is an experienced television and theatre presenter and director, as well as being a full-time ceramic artist and a writer on the arts. We're delighted to have him as our judge this year. Campbell, would you like to now announce the primary school finalists?
Thanks, Julie. Well, the first finalist is Skate Secret from Northcote Primary School. The second finalist is Escape from a Perfect World, Willow Park Primary School. The third finalist, The Secret Story of the Kaipatiki Bush from Northcote Primary. And the final film is The Secret Door from Kauri Park Primary.
Thanks, Campbell. Would you like to tell us a little bit about each of these films?
Now, the first film in the junior section this year is A Skate Secret from Northcote Primary. Now, I thought this was a very skillfully shot and edited film. The script was well written with lots of humour, and you used the split screen very effectively. The individual shots were extremely well put together with a real understanding of how to shoot effectively from different points of view. In fact, generally, I'd have to say this film was extremely well directed. I especially enjoyed the little adding of the little animated sequence that showed how the fluid helped the skateboard go a bit faster. And both the musical interlude and the little outtake section at the end were most unexpected and very, very funny. We really got to see the fun that you had making that film and how well you worked together as a team. The second film in the junior section this year is Escape from a Perfect World from Willow Park School. Now, you made very good use of colour with graphics at the beginning and the end of the transition stages. I liked that you dealt with the question of a conspiracy that might not have been a conspiracy, but then it might have been. We were never quite sure. So this gave the film an air of mystery. The use of close-ups contrasting with the longer shots was also very effective. The third film, the secret backstory of the Kaipatiki bush from Northcote Primary. Now, it's always good to see an environmental message used in a short film, and you made a very good job of doing it in a very short time, obviously under quite trying conditions. The effects and the models were really well used, and especially the disappearing effect, because it was so unexpected, it worked really effectively. I liked using the rewind effect to suggest the possibility of going back and doing things in a slightly better way. And the cheerful, optimistic music at the end made the future feel as though it was maybe just a little bit brighter. The way you ran the titles over the models in the bush also worked very well. One tiny little problem with the film, as with a few of the others, was there were a few sound dropouts. That's something to take notice of next time, but generally a very good effort. The fourth film was A Secret Door from Kauri Park School. Now, the idea of time travel is always interesting to explore, and you did it in a very playful way. I loved giving the idea that we might have been sitting in a little classroom in Beach Haven in 1988 and looking at the future Prime Minister of New Zealand. But it wasn't done in a heavy-handed way. You did it very subtly. The script was well put together and obviously well rehearsed, because it made the scenes from one to another flow in a very fluid way. And to teacher Rob Ashcroft, a big tick for a very fine acting performance. And so the winner of the primary section this year, the prize goes to Skate Secret from Northcote Primary. Congratulations. Now let's have a look at the film.
Hi, this is Evie Place from Kaipatiki TV Reports. Today we are reporting about famous New Zealand champion skateboarder Diana Ramsey, Gordon Ramsay's daughter, also known as Miss Daredevil. Sadly, Diana has fallen off her skateboard attempting a gazelle flip, leaving her arm broken.
Hello, is this the detective agency?
Yes, who is this?
This is Diana. Look, I really need
Please
your help.
state your whole name.
Oh, Diana Ramsey.
Wait, the Diana Ramsey?
Yes, my top skateboard has been stolen. I broke my arm, so I put it into high security storage, but somehow someone stole it.
I'll be with you in a sec. Sorry about that.
Let's just meet as soon as possible.
What about the local skate park? There should be loads of people that could be suspects there.
Okay, I'll meet you there. Great, we're finally here.
It's an honor to meet you.
Shall we start the interviewing?
We'll do the interviewing. Tell us if you see anything suspicious. We've interviewed everyone in this damn park. What about him? Oh, right. Let's go. Excuse me. We're detectives. Have you seen anyone looking suspicious or holding a skateboard that looks like this? Oh, sorry, wrong photo.
In fact, Hey, are you Diana Ramsey?
Yes, I am, but please answer the question.
Actually, I saw you walking with your skateboard, like right over there.
What? That's impossible. Look, there's goo on the floor. That must be the paint peeling off my skateboard. Why is it wet then? Look, more goo. Good spotting. Let's go. This weird abandoned warehouse. Do you think that this is dangerous?
Do you think this is dangerous?
Let's just go. P.I., open up! Huh? Diana? 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 Stop. Diana, you had a twin? Olivia, I thought you moved to London. Let me explain. It all started when our father, Gordon Ramsay, fired me from the kitchen. He said I couldn't cook.
Table 19. 1 pancake, 1 toast.
What that?
You can't even make toast. Get out of my kitchen.
So I moved back to New Zealand and found out you had become a champion, successful skateboarder. This, to me, seemed really unlike you, as you had never been good at sports. Diana, cat! I saw you in the sports magazine and noticed you had a weird tube under your skateboard.
So that's where the goo came from.
So when I heard you broke your arm, I knew it would be the right time to investigate it. But when I came to your house, I saw Diana pouring liquid into the skateboard. So I stole it to reveal your secret to the world. I found out the fluid inside the skateboard made it go fast and do tricks. She's a cheat with no talent at all. I can't wait to tell Dad.
That's a lie. I'd never do that. We've got enough ever. Where is she?
Get back here!
Oi!
Oi!
Stay put!
This won't be the last
Oh, yes,
of
it
me.
will. Backup's coming. Breaking news. Diana Ramsey has been working on proving her sister Olivia Ramsey wrong by practicing skateboarding in her prison cell. She was holding onto the wall of the cell when she fell, breaking her other arm.
Whoop, whoop, that's the sound of the police. 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 Whoop, whoop, that's the sound of the police.
This is Evie Place from Kaipatiki.
Hello, is it You're finally here. It's an honor. My eyes. It's like, don't touch me. I don't like it.
Congratulations, Skate Secret team. Campbell, would you like to now announce the intermediate and secondary school finalists?
Yes. The first finalist is Inside the Mind from Birkdale Intermediate. The second finalist, Kaipatiki, a secret city from the Wairau Valley Special School. And the third finalist is The Secret of the Beans from Northcote College. The first film, Inside the Mind. Now, I really enjoyed the concept of getting inside the mind and the way you used it, using different doors as portals to different parts of the mind, was used very effectively. I think also using the idea of COVID-19 as a central theme in a humorous way was a great idea, and you used it very well. Transitioning from one scene to another worked very fluidly and was very well handled. And you obviously had a lot of fun making it and clearly worked very well together as a team. The next film was the Kaipatiki, the secret city from the Wairau Valley Special School. Now, I like the fact that it had a very handmade quality to it, using the Lego construction and things like painted cardboard for the storm and the thunder. Sound effects were used very effectively, And that transition from night to day using artificial light lent a kind of eerie quality to it. Just for next time, if you use models, it's best when you're filming to keep the model on its own in the picture, to try and eliminate any extraneous things like people or scenery, as they tend to be very distracting. The final film in this section was The Secret of Beans from Northcote College. Now, I thought this was a very slickly produced film and also laugh out loud funny. It was a great idea of having the missing person, Mr. Bigglesworth, look like one of the investigators. We were all thinking, what's going on here? You also made excellent use of the sound effects and music. The scripting, editing, and camera work were of a very high standard. Generally, I think outstandingly well done. I think today we saw some real filmmaking talent, and I know and I'm sure that some of you will go on to make many more films in the future. I certainly hope so. Now, before I announce the senior prize winner, I'd like to make a couple of comments that apply to all of you and that ran generally a little bit through quite a few of the films. Parts of the films felt a little bit rushed. Now, actors, make sure you give yourself plenty of space. Slow down a little. Give yourself time to speak your lines very clearly. And when you talk very quickly, dialogue tends to get a little bit lost. So you're better to over-rehearse a little so that you become more familiar and more comfortable with your lines. Also, there was some sound recordings that were just lost a little. Make sure when you're shooting that you set your sound recording at an appropriate level. And it's a good idea that when you've finished a scene, to check the sound levels before you go on to the next scene. That said, they were very fine films and very well made, and under the circumstances, technically, pretty competent. So now, I'd like to announce the winner of the senior section. And that winner is Northcote College for their very funny and professionally made film, The Secret of Beans. Congratulations. And now let's have a look at the film.
The police haven't done a report on this yet.
This really doesn't seem like a story worth telling.
Well, we need something for the Kaipatiki Times.
Let's just see what the mayor has to say about this.
So, how can I help you boys today?
We're from Kaipatiki Times. We're here to inquire on the apparent disappearance of Mr. Dibblesworth.
What? I don't know what you're talking about.
The man who went missing 2 weeks ago?
Oh, of course, Mr. Dibblesworth. I heard he had left his wife and moved to Albania 2 weeks ago.
But what about the missing posters put up by Mrs. Dibblesworth?
Completely false, I'm afraid. Mrs. Dibblesworth was having trouble processing the loss of her husband and was declared legally insane and has been admitted to an insane asylum. Well, I can give you the files if you like.
This is useless. I guess it really was a waste of time.
I don't know. The mayor was acting pretty suspicious. And look at the police report. There are no prior signs of mental illness.
Well, even so, there's nothing we can do. I mean, the report checks out. If only we could see the police database.
What if there was a way?
What do you mean?
I think I know a guy. Let me do the secret knock.
What do you want?
We have a job for you.
Who's asking?
Us.
Come on in. So, what's the job?
We need you to hack into the police database.
Say no more.
find the file on Mr. Dibblesworth.
I knew it. He was missing.
Find the file on his wife, Mrs. Dibblesworth. She isn't insane.
You guys might want to see this.
We have to confront the mayor.
It's over, Mayor. We know your secret.
You do realize this is my house, right?
We know about Mr. Dibblesworth.
And we know you're covering something up.
This is just all a big misunderstanding.
Were all those missing people just some big misunderstanding? Spill the beans.
Okay, there are people going missing in Kaipatiki, but it's not my fault. 2,000 years ago, there was a great being, a bean demon from ancient Greece who was banished to one of the most remote places of the earth, Kaipatiki. I discovered him inside a can of beans in Kauri Reserve. He told me that he would devour me, my family, and all of the people of Kaipatiki if I didn't cover up his feasting of human souls. I've been changing the police files and silencing anyone who was nosing around. I was only doing it for the greater good.
Who's here? Ah! Stay back! Ah!
Once I devour you, I will turn everyone into beans.
Spill the beans. So, are we really publishing this story?
No. I think it's better off if Kaipatiki doesn't know about the horrors of the bean demon.
Well done and congratulations to the team from Northcote College. And that brings us to the end of our show. We hope you've enjoyed it. Well done again to all entrants, finalists and winners. We hope you keep up the fantastic work and look forward to seeing more of your films in the future. A reminder that all these finalist films are on YouTube and that we will deliver the certificates and prizes as soon as we're able to. Thank you once more to the Kaipatiki Local Board. We really do appreciate your support. And in closing, a big thank you to all those who helped make this possible.